was the Pac-Man. Have you ever noticed my slit ear?
Mm-hmm. Not right now because you have.
I know. And no,
on.
it's not because I tried to gauge my ears.
I still think that's really amazing that you just basically you didn't yank it. It wasn't like
and then it just fell apart.
Wow.
Anyways.
Did you ever think about like super gluing it or seeing if you can?
No.
That's what super glue was originally made for, is to put skin together.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Why?
It was a medical thing because it would adhere skin. I mean, think about how quickly that does.
What?
Yeah, you can do that, and they don't advise.
Okay, but remember the girl that did the Gorilla Glue in her hair? I don't think you're supposed to do that anymore.
Well, it's not like heart surgery. Now we're going to put your chest together with super glue, but they realized that. But if you did that, then you could still keep a little bit.
But then I'd feel the crusties, and I'd pick at them.
Okay, you know that my teeth were knocked in. Hey, I'm Joshua Will.
Do you want to intro?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Joshua Will, Director of Entertainment here with the St. Paul Saints.
And I am Sierra, slightly broken.
And you are listening to Funny in Theory, which started
a medical podcast.
A medical podcast. So I got my teeth knocked out.
By a girl?
No, by my friend's little brother. I turned around and I always, like when people ask me now, I say it's a bar fight, which is a lot.
Okay.
But this was just a kid hit me with a broomstick and knocked my two front teeth out. So if you've never seen, my front two teeth are
fake.
But in high school, these are caps now.
Yeah.
In high school, they basically, they look like almost weird, but reverse fangs. So it wasn't like two little points. It was just the way they smacked out.
Yeah.
And so they made caps that went over the top of them. So it was just like a puzzle piece. And as my mouth was growing and I was using it a lot more in high school, junior year, senior year, my dad was getting really tired of bringing me
The face you made when you were trying to be subtle about using your mouth more in high school is so cringeworthy right now.
It was honestly like the minute I get done with the sentence, what is Sierra going to say? I was pre-cringing the comment, which wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But no, it's because the jaw changes. You start getting your wisdom teeth, all that dumb stuff. Plus, I was just yakking a lot more back then. The
bad vowels?
Bad vowels?
Vowels. Why are you throwing up so much?
No, not yakking. Talking. Yakety yak. Which apparently I'm doing right now. My father got tired of bringing me back into the dentist. Mm-hmm. And it was happening like every other month like that because it was just, for some reason, they weren't staying on anymore. So we would super glue them into my mouth, which was great the first time. There's that word again, great.
Favorite.
It worked fine the first time, but then it fell out again, and I super glued it again, and I put it in. You do that enough, you get these little layers of super glue, so you can actually see this line going across the fake tooth, and the tooth would just get a little bit lower every single time, and so it was never like Bugs Bunny teeth, but you could tell that one was definitely off, and when it came off, I couldn't, there was just no way to take the super glue off because it
you could have sanded it down.
I eventually did. There is a story I have to tell you, but the minute I tell you, and this is not the Winnebago story, you will never look at me the same way again. You'll probably call me the nickname that my high school friends called me. And there's just, we cannot, if I tell it to you, I don't think we can be friends any longer. I can't even say it on, you're going to bleep it out?
Oh, did it fall out when you were pooping?
No.
Did you push so hard that it just... Gross.
But what I love now is that even if we bleep that word out, people are going to figure out what the nickname was.
Not necessarily.
Put it in the comments if you think you know my nickname from high school.
There you go.
An actual nickname. Hey, we have finished the season.
Yeah, haven't we already talked about that we finished the season?
Yeah, but now that we've had time and people have left us...
Yes.
I want to ask you, what is the one thing that stands with you? I know I've asked this before, but there's the reason I'm going to segue into today's topic. So when you think back about 2021, if you had to put it into a word or a phrase, what would it be?
Oof. What's the blurry?
Yeah. That's a great way to...
That's my one word for it.
I could see that, yeah. I could see the blurry. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to be throwing out...
remember I was going to tell you something.
Yes, and I got to tell you something too. Yes. So we try not to talk before the podcast, and then we forget what we were going to talk about.
When I was waiting for your late butt to get here, I went on the social medias, and according to Facebook, it is our 4-year friend anniversary today.
Happy friend
anniversary. Me and you.
Very nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had.
What did you get me?
These words. Allowing to do this podcast this late.
We had never said that.
I know.
And I even wrote you last week, never a response about what I wanted to do today.
Are you sure?
I checked it on the way here.
What did you say?
I said, I have an idea for next week's podcast if you guys want to do that. And just no response to that.
Well, there's no question to that. Then it just assumes like, okay, great. He has an idea.
Normally we do podcasts on Monday. Last week was Wednesday. Today's Tuesday.
It is.
So we're a little loosey-goosey here. Hey, I forgot a job. You're gonna enjoy this for one day.
Okay.
For Grand Old Days in St. Paul, I was a bouncer.
At a bar?
Yes, at a bar. I didn't
know if you were like on the St. Paul bouncing team or something like that.
Your response was exactly everyone that I had to card. Every St. Thomas, every McAllister, every University of Minnesota athlete coming in.
What bar? Tiffany's?
No, it was...
Billy's.
It was
Dixie's.
It was close to Billy's. Actually, it might have been Dixie's. It was Dixie's, yes. But everyone's like, are you serious?
Why?
Because I would ask for an ID, because Grand Old Days is obviously a day you do not want to get caught serving underage drinkers. And so the policy, big sign right next to me, we are carding everybody today. So it was my job to card everybody.
Even if they had silver hair.
Even if they had silver hair. By the way, story on that. I did theater in college, and we would go to something called ACTFs, which was the American College Theater Festival, I think it stood for. And there was a bar in the hotel that a lot of underage drinkers got into because they had their makeup with them. So they would throw silver into their hair, or they would throw powder into their hair, or they could add a little makeup, or there was a wheelchair. And that became the game, was who can get past the bouncers. And some people looked really good, and you knew the people there just didn't care. They were just letting people in, but it was a pretty funny story. But so many people, when I was over bouncing, I stood on a chair, were so angry to have to show me an ID. And then looking at me like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. My job is to check your ID. That's pretty much it. If you don't have one, you can't enter. And then this guy who was, walking around, that's his job to get rid of you like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, I'm always amazed how we have this with our contestants too. Hey, here's what you need to do. Well, what if I do this? No. We're asking you, this is what you need to do. So what I want to do today is I'm going to throw different areas of the ballpark at you and see if you have like an immediate reaction to it, meaning I have a story for that, or, I got to roll my eyes. That's where because you spent a lot of time in center field this year. And I think
in the beginning,
So I'm just going to throw different areas around the ballpark and see if you have a story for it.
Okay. Do you have some stories for some of these areas?
Possibly. Okay. I haven't preset any stories right now. But just right off the bat, and this not just this season, I'm just talking in general. Promo room, the storage area. The
one behind home or the one in the hallway?
The one behind home.
The story I remember is I just remember before a game walking to get out to our PA table, and there was an intern sleeping on a kinky bottle.
In the middle of a game or before?
It was before the game. This was probably at gates open, maybe 5:30 to 6 o'clock, and she was sleeping on a kinky bottle. That's great.
Those kinky bottles. So water damaged too. So I hope this is at least.
If she was tired, I think she worked a lot. I don't remember. I remember not being mad, but being like, "Are you kidding me? Come on! You could have said you couldn't work tonight. Why are you sleeping?"
I remember the first time that door opened and I saw it.
Did you get anxiety?
Oh my gosh! Because I was like, how do you guys? Ooh. And so over 3 seasons, I think we cleaned it up really well.
You've cleaned it up really well.
And then what's odd too is every once in a while you'll be like, hey, where's that, duck mallet?
You threw away the burrito roll-up stuff.
Okay, I had to because they were nasty and there was black mold on them. That's, but it was because I know in your head, or even other people are like, oh, I saw that. But it may have been last week, it may have been 4 or 5 years ago. So it's very funny. So I know where everything is. They're in they're in bins and blah, blah, blah. But the minute an intern goes in there and moves it, oh my God, just put it back.
Yeah.
Please.
You're going to have to deal with that a lot more. You didn't really have to deal with that this year because we weren't allowed to be in there.
No.
And so when we are back there next year, you're going to have to deal with that a lot more.
Yeah, I think if there was a disappointment this season, it was that we didn't get to play with the costumes, and you would see interns almost become like, this is my costume, and when we would go out and do coach.
They did that for drag a little bit. With the dragon costumes.
And then, that little dragon. Every time I bring it out, the dragon costume probably fits a 2-year-old, but I think it fits a 4 or 5-year-old. So you see this kid trying to get into it, and that's kind of crazy. The other promo room, so the one in the hallway, do we call that promo storage?
Yeah, it's where we keep like group hats and prizes for all the promotions and giveaways if they come early.
Any stories there? Intern falling asleep, finding something from 15 years ago?
No, but when we used to do Kinky Spin the Bottle, like a whole case they used to win a Kinky bottle. And a whole case just disappeared. We also share that with Goldie's locker room for the merch store. Mm-hmm. But I have no idea who took it, but gone.
Are there still Goldies? Yeah, there's still Goldies around, aren't there? At Mall of America and stuff like that?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
But we've started selling St. Paul Saints merchandise in retail stores now. I was really excited to see that.
Sure.
But anytime I try to find Saints stuff during the off season, Goldies was wiped out. They were done with us for the year.
Yeah.
Okay, Crow's Nest. Give me a story about up in above the concourse 113.
I've never really gone up to Andy's area during a game.
Him
and himself have stories. I have stories about him, but I don't know about that area.
It is so amazing to watch him work because, not only does he have his 2 keyboards and he's got his computer set up and he's got his music, but he's also entertaining up there,
right? As
well. So when there are corporate functions, or you have the players' wives or girlfriends screaming at him from the other side, he is being pulled in a million different directions at any time.
Correct.
Okay. Let's be very specific here. Right field, on the field. What are your some favorite?
I miss biz recycling when we used to shoot into the big recycling bin and the usher-tainers would have to move it. And I would love it if we were short on usher-tainers, which means I got to move the bin with them because I actually made it a game. I remember one time it was like me and Chef. I'm not trying to be mean, but if it was just Chef and somebody else, there's no way they were getting that bottle. I was determined to get to this bottle, and we did. And I was like pulling Chef as far. So I guess to describe it to people, for biz recycling, we used to put recycling bottle inside of a t-shirt gun. Somebody would stand near first base in the grass, and then they would have to shoot their bottle out of the t-shirt gun into like a 4x4 cardboard box that looked like a recycling bin. So I was just trying to get it in there.
Well, it did, but at least on the first day. By the second day,
it was now just like a collapsible thing. It was very difficult, so we had to start having like usher-tainers to go out there to help move it so somebody could win. But I was determined to always get a bottle every single time.
Yeah, and there was no way to say this is a good place to put the box because those guns...
I know. Sometimes it had a lot of PSI, and a lot of times it was just... You're like, oh, shoot. This one's going to not be good.
So left field, we don't do a whole lot out in. Closest we'll probably ever get is...
Did you say left field or right field?
Left field.
You said left field?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard right field.
Okay, left field.
That was in right field. My apologies.
That was right field. I've moved to left field.
Oh.
Yeah. So Summit Swig is the closest we get to left field.
Yeah.
Left center field. But if there ever anything out there, is there a memory? That always just reminds me of our first party. We had a 2-week homestand first season, so 2018.
Oh, you're talking about the Crap Beer Corner?
Yes. Oh, no, that left field just makes me Remind me of that, because that's how people I would see rolling up to get up to.
We did the largest game of Duck Duck Grey Duck in left field.
That's right.
That was a good one.
That was only a couple weeks ago.
It sure stinking
fuzzy
was.
And hazy. I still want to do that. Also, a couple years ago, we had the St. Paul Winter Carnival out there. So we had a full ice arena, ice skating.
There's a skating rink, but that was infield.
That was infield.
Does it have to do with like promotions?
Nope.
There was a catch that I don't remember what year it was, and then I don't think it was a Saints player. I think it was an opposing team, but he caught the ball and literally just fell right through the bullpen door. I think it made top 10 on SportsCenter. I don't remember a ton. Maybe it shouldn't be a memory. But just like, well, because and he just fell off his back then. Or maybe he was going at it. I want to say I think he still caught the ball. I think that's why it was a top 10 play. Jordan, comment if you remember and you're listening. Jordan would know.
And what year did I did find the bat, by the way. That has
no signature on it.
No signature on it whatsoever.
Gee, dang it.
But now it's in my office because I spent so much time looking for it, and it's right next to me.
Do you want me to sign it?
I'll have you sign it.
Do you want to get somebody else to sign it?
Nope, I'm going to wait till our 5th year Facebook anniversary.
Should I get Sister Roz to sign it? Or massage it or bless it?
Every time I see Sister Roz, and I hear stories, but by the time my tenure started, she wasn't here as much anymore.
Right.
But I would always get hugs.
Because she's the best.
She's the best.
If you ever deny a Sister Roz hug, you have a dark, cold, like miserable heart.
You don't even need to wait in line to get to hell. They just kind of bring you to the front.
Yeah. You're probably the person that you need one of her hugs the most.
Yeah. Josh Will, as bouncer, is just going to let you in without carting you right to hell. Give me a Sister Roz story.
Oh, she loves PBR. I don't know if these are stories, just things about her. She went skydiving.
She loves PBR.
Yep.
Okay, I love her even more.
And I think she went skydiving at the age of 80, maybe a little older. All-Star Game 2016, we honored her before the game. And Bill Murray was here, and we had all the like players and coaches go stand out behind her as we like honored her. She's a sweet little lady, and we gave her like this plaque thing, and out of nowhere, Bill tells manager George and the other, it was a Sioux Falls manager at the time, I can't remember his name, to pick her up. And they just pick her up, and there are hands where they shouldn't be on Sister Oz, but it was just like, and then they just held her up like a little Simba. And it was one of the coolest things to watch. Seriously.
I still have this image of Sister Roz jumping out of a plane with that, the smoke on their heels. So you just see like a blue trail and her just chugging a PBR on the way down.
And her veil.
And then that being picked up by Bill Murray. It's really easy to find that picture of Bill Murray and picking up. It's a great photo. Okay, front gate. Give me a front gate story.
Oh man, I mean, gosh, I don't know if I can think of specific.
And they don't even need to be stories. It's just kind of
it can be super chaotic when we have a giveaway, and it's if you're claustrophobic, you do not want to be up there. But it also is cool to watch that as well.
What's the earliest you've ever seen someone get in line for a promo giveaway?
Probably like 10 hours. Depends, like if it's like we did Charlie Brown bobblehead or the jersey giveaways, people always really, really love. And it's, man, we used to only do 2 sizes, adult XL, youth XL. Actually, we only did that again this year, but when they were sent to us, the adult XL was more like an adult schmedium.
Schmedium, yeah.
So luckily, very nice partner. They redid them really quickly, so we got to keep the schmediums. And then we also got sent, let's call them like adult larges now. Still not very XL, anything about them. But it's with all the people that come up there that don't listen. All you're saying the whole time is, large is down there, medium here, youth down there. And then 2 seconds later, I want one. Well, this is a youth size, so you probably want to go to the other side. Well, where's the other side? Literally 2 feet to my right. But it's so chaotic, and it gets really annoying. You have to repeat yourself all the stinking time. But you got to remind yourself that they literally just got to the game. They didn't hear you the 377 times before that you were saying stuff. But and gosh, people are just rude and ruthless at those. Like a lot of times I don't even wait for you to hand them anything. They'll just reach in and grab it and be like, thanks, bye. Or they'll grab it, put it in their backpack,
go to the
back
next
around.
One. I was going to ask that. Yeah.
There was somebody this year, our replica jersey giveaway. There was someone who had about 5 of them, and he was trying to sell them at the gate. Didn't think that we knew, but an usher caught him. Yeah.
Trying to sell them.
Yep.
Is there any place?
Well, actually, no. This is what it was. He was telling people going in that if they didn't want them, he would buy them for like $15 to $20, and then he would sell them on eBay. Yeah, that's what it was.
I often go onto eBay to see, because it's kind of cool to see really old Saints memorabilia, and sometimes I just do that just to be kind of, I shouldn't say nostalgic because I wasn't here then, but I'm also trying to find the Japanese kanji shirt. That one's really cool. But has anyone ever kept track of the promo items we've given away over the past?
What do you mean?
Like is there a collection, a website, a room that this is everything we've given out? By this point, it would be a warehouse. I don't think so,
but a lot of people, like employees, usually get one of each giveaway that year. But it kind of depends. I don't know. Sometimes you get it, and then it's like somebody didn't get it, and you're like, well, they can have mine because I really don't care. But I don't think so.
Yeah, part of the
I try to keep at least one thing of every single thing, but I mean, I think we're out of the Bill Murray Caddyshack bobbleheads. It's like, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
And then others you find 4 years later, like I found Hillary Clinton bobbleheads all the way up on a top shelf in the promo storage room. Well, we can chuck these because we don't need them anymore.
Do we still have the Biden Trump bobbleheads out?
We have a significant less amount now.
Significant less amount.
So we do, but we don't have boxes and boxes worth.
Yeah, part of the because I'm having fun. Story 2. People ask me, they're like, "Why do I sweep before the game?" That has become.
Yes, you do.
And someone was asking, like, do you just bug you to have it dirty down here? I'm like, actually, it's our house. These are our visitors. I just like to get it ready pre-game, and we're just kind of welcome to our house. That's my rationale behind it. But that
Cinderella.
That's. That was not my name at high school. But that whole promo
it's your
area,
name now
that I hope not, now that we can get the marching bands down there and we can get the choirs that are 50 deep, I want them to be able to look at something. So I've been, finding what I can and collecting it to hang it up. Like the Charlie Brown shirt is just neat to look at. I want to do stuff like that. That's kind of why I was asking as well. Let's go back to Midway. What was your favorite room in Midway? Or your favorite room to get out of?
There was asbestos in the promo cage. Oh my gosh. Yikes. We had to roll out like these movie theater chairs because that's what not Killebrew. Can't remember even what the seats were called, but it was a specialty group area, and these chairs were like broken. So you're like, well, not even that. Like your butt was slanted downwards, but you're sitting in like something that's more comfortable than a bleacher, apparently. I remember there was no AC in the office, so like if it was 90 degrees out that day, you were sweating hard in the office.
Fun.
The trailer, half our staff didn't even fit in our office, so they rented a big trailer that was in our parking lot. And I want to say during the season, probably 8-ish people are out there because there was a couple of interns out there as well. They had a microwave, but if they had to go to the bathroom, they had to come into our office. And for them, it was I wasn't out there, but it was pretty brutal, I guess, like in the winter. Very, very cold out there. And you would just keep on your winter coat. You would work with mittens on, scarves, hats. And and then it would stink when you'd have to go to the bathroom because now you got to trudge through a bunch of snow just to get to the office. So, gosh, we go on and on about Midway. It was so epic. And like instead of here, we have the promo storage room where we keep giveaways and group hats. Nope, that was a trailer in center field where we would keep all of like the financial papers and like giveaways. And we had to store picnic tables in a different trailer. But you would go in this trailer and it smelt so bad. Like moldy paper, moldy boxes, cardboard boxes. And I remember I used to have one of my first, I can't remember if it was before the first season I worked, which it makes me think it wasn't because it probably wasn't didn't have snow yet, but maybe right after that season, I had to go out to the trailer for the first time, like in the off season. No, it was before. I had just started, and there was snow blocking the trailer, but I was supposed to get out some inflatable to give to the Saints Academy. They were going to stop by and pick it up. And the lock was frozen. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. They're like, oh, just go get a blowtorch from Curtis. Mind you, I am new here. And I'm like, who's Curtis? I don't know how to use a blowtorch. Are you serious? Like, come on. Insane. It was insanity. And then everything behind center field was broken, old box TVs. We did like a night at Midway that was, oh gosh. I don't remember what we called it, but essentially it was, we found a bunch of free things on Craigslist, and that was our giveaway for the night. So whatever we found, but we had to find it on Craigslist, and it had to be free for us to go pick it up, whatever. So, and then all the stuff that nobody wanted, it just got chucked behind center field. And then you had behind even center field wall, right behind it was the fire training center. Yep. And so they would practice putting out fires in that building. It was awful.
And would they do that during a game sometimes?
No, but the last game I don't know, I'm going to say we're in maybe the 6th or 7th inning. Out of nowhere, they shoot off fireworks as sort of like a farewell, Saints, you've been great neighbors, like have fun in Lower Town. Nobody knew they were doing fireworks. It was the middle of the game. All of a sudden they just start shooting off. I remember like it getting so smoky, I couldn't even see the outfielders. We had to stop the game, and all of a sudden you just see like a player come out, like covering his face and his mouth and like trying to push away like all the smoke that was in his face. It was very, very funny. But yeah, it was the perfect way like to leave that place.
Did you guys have, before I forget, speaking about picking up stuff, if you've bid on and won.
By the time this comes out, I've already sold it again.
Yeah, please come pick them up. Was there any type of farewell, like demolition, when you guys left Midway? Like, I cannot stand this chair, so I'm going to chuck it. Here's a window.
Kind of.
Here's an intern, just get rid of them. You know.
Here's a fun story about the Saints. We like to do things ourselves, aka we had no money because we were building a ballpark. So whoever was employed by the Saints, you're darn tootin', we were the ones moving the Saints. So if I hear anyone complain that they have to move out of their apartment into a new one or their house, try moving an entire ballpark's worth of stuff. So yes, we did go through throwing and chucking a lot of the things, but we had to box everything up. Okay, we had one help. We had a moving company pick up the things that we put in boxes, bring it here, and then we had to sort through it and put it everywhere. So they didn't really do anything. But yeah, there's that, and we still have so much crap, I feel like, that we brought from over here. You saw it in the promo room.
I think where you didn't know what to do with it, you threw it into the
because it's like you never know.
Legal papers, we found personal. I mean, I know the difference between costumes and personal clothing.
Yeah.
You know, I found a lunch in there. And we're getting done. Is there? So I know there's a couple graphics that used to hang outside Midway that are around CHS Field right now. Is there anything else from the old ballpark that's here on display that I just not?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I know
like all the seats got chucked. All the
you know, Can Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
They apparently went in and stole like the door from when Dennis and the Pig would come out of from behind home plate. It was like an STP door, and they put it as one of their holes at Can Wonderland.
Oh, that's pretty
cool. You ever played there?
Yes,
it used to be the last hole. I don't know if it still is. It's one of those, like, you didn't ask us to do this, but it's free marketing for us, so.
Oh, I dig that a lot.
Sure.
But any type of party demolition, any type of bonfire in the middle of the...
No, but that makes me cringe, laugh. Before there was Krista, our accounting manager, her name was Lisa, and she used to send out emails about like twice, 3 times a year saying we didn't have a shredder, maybe, I don't think, but any document she needed to shred, she would just have a bonfire in the parking lot. She was like, I don't know, a 60-year-old woman, and you would just see her having in this big like black burning tub all these papers, and she would be out there in like jeans and a like wife beater tank top. Lisa
dangling from the lip.
Seriously, she loved her cigarettes and liked drinking as well. So it was just like, again, that was back when I started. I was like within a year there, and I was like, what is going on? So
I think one of my first real being aware of the Saints is they had a promotion where you lived in a Winnebago in the parking lot.
I think somebody did that, yeah.
For the entire season. And you got paid something like, you got to see all the games, obviously.
Right.
But you were paid something like $5,000 for the summer or something. And I remember at the time, like, that doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Right. Yeah, that was before my time.
Think of all the bonfires you could have seen just being in that
I know.
Winnebago.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
How about the back? No. I was going to, we'll talk about that later. The picnic grounds, the soybean lawn,
It's not that anymore.
What is it now? It's
the
Cabana, yes. Which I noticed for the first time running around Visago.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it? You just didn't see that this year?
Nope.
It's a big Cub sign.
Nope.
And then a big cabana sign.
Cabana's you have to be on the concourse too.
So?
I'm very focused when I'm running. So no, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see the Cub sign. Also this year, the Treasure Island letters lit up.
Towards the end.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Someone said they'd never been on before.
I know, I didn't know that they were never on. And then someone looked at me like I was crazy, like I should have known that.
Yeah, I thought they were. I mean, there was one night where I was like, okay, well, I see 3 letters.
Yeah, that was because they were just getting installed during the day, during the day. But they weren't supposed to be on, so nobody knew how the 3 letters were on.
This is weird because it's one of those, like, if I close my eyes, I could see those neon letters being on any season in the past, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Craft Beer Corner. Give me a story.
Our party.
That was a good party.
That was a last 10 game of 10 in a row, and somehow it ended on a Saturday. And so I arranged a little fun stuff get together in the Craft Beer Corner for whoever wanted to stay. And it turns out everybody stayed.
Not only that, people came from Japan.
That's lucky. We're lucky because then she got a staff photo of us all out there.
Nozomi from the Chiba Latte Marines.
Yes.
Japanese baseball team. So trying to get a hookup there so we can go over there and then be on Japanese game shows.
There you go.
I
think that would be great.
So much fun. One of my favorite game shows, what they did is they didn't give contestants anything to eat for a couple days. They had water, but then they stuck them in a little glass booth, and they would just put food that smelled so good in front of them, and the contestants were just going nuts.
That's torture.
It was.
How's that a game show?
That's a Japanese game show. We still have to figure out how to do slippery stairs.
Remember how I said that they're kind of mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you defended them? You still going to defend them? That's mean.
For entertainment purposes, absolutely. I have at home, and I don't know the name of this. It's just amazing. They put 10 people, 10 males into a room, and then they interviewed them, and they said, whoever gets chosen today starts today. And so you don't get to say goodbye to people. You don't get to whatever.
Why would they say goodbye?
To family or what? They just said, we're taking you away today. We're not telling you where. You're just coming with us. And so one person won.
I don't know if we call that winning.
They blindfolded him, brought him to a room, which is a little bit bigger than this area right here, but also had a bathroom and a kitchen.
Okay.
And had a table, and then a computer, and then a whole magazine rack full of magazines. The only way this guy could survive was by entering contests and getting stuff for free. So you could sometimes it was just a giveaway. Hey, here's a free candy bar. Hey, here's blah, blah, blah. He had nothing except water. And so you could see him actually getting
dinner.
This is
stupid.
This is absolutely amazing. And then eventually he won a rice cooker, and he was the happiest person on the face of the earth.
Did he have rice?
He didn't have rice. He had rice to begin with, because he could send away for free rice. But what you would have to do is put it into a cup, heat up the cup, stir it, let it sit. So when he got his rice cooker, he was ridiculously happy. And then he would win things like bikes or stationary things to exercise. And then
how long was he in this room?
This was months. And then it was a weekly television show. People started to realize who he was and kind of figured out where he kind of was. So companies were sending stuff into him for free product placement. So in the middle of the night, they broke into this place. They didn't break in, it was theirs. They kidnapped him and brought him to another place.
Oh my gosh,
set up.
This is terrible.
The stuff that they knew wasn't plant, they brought with him that he needed, except they forgot the rice cooker. And he was completely just pissed off.
Oh yeah, did they go back and get it?
Nope, because it was just it was changed. So now after watching this, and they've condensed it into a 2-hour special, you'd see the room change. He also had no clothes. They took everything away from him.
This is the dumbest show I have ever heard, and I'm so pissed that you kept this show going because you were watching it. I am so disappointed in you.
To be fair,
the Tooth Story, nothing. Nope. Wasn't the Tooth Story? Wasn't that you? This. What? How is that okay?
It's hard to have conversations with Sierra Bailey sometimes.
What?
I watched.
Are you kidding me? This one I stand behind of me.
I watched it after it happened. I wasn't watching this live. I didn't live in Japan. This was in the late 90s.
Did you have to have subtitles?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't. So he had no clothes, and if he did get clothes, he would put them on. Then he decided he didn't want to wear them.
I mean,
he made it for the year, and
his house.
They came in and they kidnapped him again. Now they brought him into a soundstage, but they made it look like an apartment. So now they get there. He had his clothes on. First thing he does is takes his clothes off, throws them, sits at the table, and starts filling out these cards.
Blur him out.
They blurred him out. Yeah.
Okay.
And when they started,
did they have to use a big blur or a little blur?
Have you ever seen Japanese blur? It's all pixelated, so it just follows the area around. It's really funny.
Blur.
And it was just it looks like little mosquitoes or gnats, or just there's something on my television. And so he sits down, takes his clothes off right away, and he started off.
What's the show called?
I don't know, and I will let. As you know, I do my research. Last week I showed you what I look like as a Dairy Queen employee with blonde hair. Me, cow birth. I couldn't find the picture of the blue cow sack. Anyway, dude is now sitting in his third apartment. Clothes off, gets going, but it's now a live television studio stage. So he's there for about an hour, gets his stuff ready. Cameras are here, full audience. He's on stage.
But he's naked.
And he's naked. And so the walls all fall down. Boom, boom, boom. They lift the ceiling up, and now he sees he's on a stage. And he won something like $1 million or something like this for like a year and became a celebrity.
Wait, he won $1 million for a year? So he only gets the $1 million for
that
a year?
For that year. That was his prize.
Does he get to keep the $1 million past that year?
After a year, after doing this, he was awarded $1 million.
There you go.
And I'm just making it up at this point. Correcting I'm just making up stuff too. And apparently he got so used to this lifestyle, he didn't want to go back. So he went back and did almost a sequel, which I have not watched.
Jeez.
But it's pretty interesting to watch.
I bet.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like subtitles though.
I'm all about that.
But
Are you watching Squid Game at all?
No.
See, I tried to watch it with the...
People are like terrified of it. I don't know if I want to.
It's okay. I like it. I'm 2 episodes into it, so I can't watch it. My daughter started to watch it, and I looked around. I'm like, you can't watch that. It's bloody. But I was like,
I don't know if I like that type of stuff.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But the American actors, they just I can't deal with the lips and the coming. It's like watching me talk, It's kind of annoying that way.
Wow. I did watch, I've started Sex Education on Netflix.
So good.
It's so great.
So good. I'm into season, is it 4 now? So
I don't know. I haven't finished season 1, but I'm almost done with season 1. It's so great. I stand by it. And there's one character that he's made me cry because I just love him so stinking much.
Which character?
Eric, the gay best friend. Yeah. You love him. And you just hate how people are just so mean to him.
He has a great story arc. that you haven't.
I know.
Obviously,
I think we're in the darkest part right now. That's why I'm like, gosh, darn it.
You were talking about exactly, and my wife and I watched it. I was like, I love this guy because he still tries to remain positive and he still tries to be who he is. And I'm getting really angry at people treating him the way he does. So you'll be. It's
right.
really great.
Yeah, don't spoil.
Not going to spoil anything, but I will say,
milk.
Being a child of the 90s and the 80s and some of the 70s, I was a big Friends fan, and there's a moment that happens somewhere. I'm not going to tell you when. That reminded me of like a Ross and Rachel moment between characters. And there's a part of me that because
we were on a break.
Yeah, not that. I won't.
Okay.
I don't want to give anything away.
Don't give anything.
But just it happened, and I was like, oh, good for them.
Okay.
Good for them. Good for Hollywood romances.
Good stuff.
Plus,
it's not Hollywood. They're in Britain.
Yeah.
British. What time of like the year? Like what years? I can't figure it out. Their clothes are so awful, which makes like a good whoever their costume person is. Yeah. It's great, but I can't. Is it in the 70s? Is it nowadays?
Oh, like, it's nowadays. Yeah. So
but why do they wear that? Is that what they wear over the? I was going to say over the river, over the ocean.
I will tell you in 2 days. How about that?
Oh, yeah. You're going to Scotland. You're going to Scotland. That's not fair.
London first.
Oh, London is different than Scotland.
Oh, London.
Can you do accents of both of them?
Scottish is really hard for me to do because I can't roll my R's. But the first time I met my house parents, they said to me, I was drunk as hell when I met them because all the people from the town of Dalkeith came up and they all had house families and mine didn't show up. So they put us into a room and we stole a box of wine and we were all miserable and they came and they took us out and they kept saying, come down to the house for a cuppa.
What's that?
Come to our house for a cuppa. But
cuppa what?
The who's cuppa. Cuppa just means a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. They just call it a cuppa. But if you don't know the language, you're like, what are you saying? So, different. I can do different English accents like London or the Cockney or Liverpool, but Scottish I can't.
Those are all different?
Yeah. So you've got the kind of if you got the Cockney, you're kind of doing this in the back of your voice here. You know, it's got Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, we're gonna go get us some curry, and then
I like the R movements with it.
And then if you think Liverpool, that's more of the kind of the Beatles. So everything is kind of sing-songy. It's just Paul McCartney. It's up and down. Next one's going to come out in colours green. I don't do them well. I just do them. And Irish I can't do to save my life.
Wow.
Which is weird because I do an Irish show every year. But.
Well, are you going by yourself?
No, my next door neighbor is going as well. So that's
the one who lent you his car?
The one who lent me his car without the
side mirror?
The side mirror, yeah. He's had it replaced since then.
So when do you leave?
Tomorrow.
So by the time this comes out, you'll be back, I think, or just getting back?
Just getting back.
Can't wait to hear all about it in 3 episodes.
All I know is I'm going to do some running. I'm really excited about that.
You're going to run while you're there?
Mm-hmm. So that's just my favorite way of seeing stuff. And it's also, I like to get lost. And so just kind of see if I can find my way back and having the phones and stuff like that won't be a problem. I'm able to get onto Google Maps, but just see if I can keep my sense of direction. That's my idea of fun. And then we're doing Oktoberfest in Edinburgh. So an Oktoberfest in Scotland.
You bring your lederhosen?
I am not.
Why?
You've seen those things. They don't fold. They don't feel good. They chafe. They chap. And I can only wear them once a year.
Yeah, but you could light a match on them.
Yes, you could. I could break down a wall with them. I could just run not butt first.
Yeah. Roll your body up into a
What are you doing for the next 2 weeks? Let's go back to Sierra Bailey.
What? I don't know. I have nothing.
Work? Is that? Can you?
Kind of. Work? Some life? We have our meetings coming up.
I've got
our organizational meetings. So that'll be something to start the planning for 2022.
I have a very funny idea in my mind for a theme next year.
Oh God!
But it's going to be one of those kind of like I'll share it with you later. We got that.
Oh.
It's about just an old timey baseball player I think deserves some recognition.
A real one?
Mm-hmm. From about 1904. He was
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Nope.
That was 20s, right? Yes. Wasn't it 1920 or something?
The White Sox or the Black Sox as they were known.
Do you have a prediction of who's going to win the World Series? That might be done by the time this podcast comes out.
Who do you think?
I mean, I was kind of hoping for the Rays. Sister team, Charleston River Dogs. That's their parent club. That would have been nice. They also won this year, so it would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
What is it? What are they like? Low A, single season. I can't remember what their division is, but
I'm just in that period of time of year where I'm not watching Viking games and happy with it right now. So
I did watch the Vikings.
I heard the last play.
Yeah. Hey, we got a kicker, man.
Good. That was it 56 yards?
Something like that. Yeah. If we're being honest.
Let's be honest.
I was hoping the Lions were going to score at the end, and they did. Because in fantasy, this is why I don't like playing fantasy. Mm-hmm. I was playing the Vikings defense, who was slaying that game. And I was like, I need them to get down a little bit more. So, yeah. But it worked out perfectly. And then I was like, okay, well, now we have like 40 seconds. We can do this.
I was talking to my brother about that. It's like you always want to pick up players for a home team because that's a little incentive while you're watching.
Right.
But sometimes you don't have a team that.
But yet, if you're a Vikings fan, slim pickings with picking a good one. So
now you're like, I want the Vikings to win. But I do have
Justin Jefferson.
But I want the other team to do really well during the. There's my London Cockney arms.
Hopefully, when this comes out, I am the only one in first place, undefeated 5-0.
Very nice.
So I also have never really cared about fantasy, but then I started winning, and then I kept winning, and so now I'm a little invested. Not gonna lie. And it's the Saints League that we do, so.
I don't have a single win this season.
You do too, Josh. The 2021 Saints season. That's your win. You don't let anyone take that away from you.
I don't look into the rearview mirror because sometimes it's not there. I'm just looking ahead. Looking ahead to next year.
You got to celebrate some wins from this year. What would you describe this season in one word?
Fuzzy.
Fuzzy?
Fuzzy.
So we have blurry and fuzzy.
Blurry and fuzzy. I
was trying to think of one that was
There were moments
like,
of it that you want to cuddle up with, and other ones where you're like, it's kind of itching me right now.
Yeah. If there was a better way to say like 0 to 60, that's what this season was. And then, but I couldn't think of a word.
This season, I felt accomplished. I felt we had a lot of, I don't want to call them uphill battles, but just kind of outside the norm of what we need to do.
Yeah.
And I think we won over the fans. I think we won over a lot of the players, and just by being ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think just staying true to what we are is kind of what made it fun this season. And then there were just some ridiculous things that we did that just still make me laugh. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
Take notes of it. Maybe we can do it again next year.
I think we'll have a lot of fun.
This is fun. Maybe we should do it again sometime.
Let's do it again sometime.
Maybe that's what this should have been called. Actually, I really like Funny in Theory, but this was fun. Maybe we should do it again.
Not for a couple weeks. Maybe bring it back again next season. No, I'm really excited to get. We didn't have our production meetings. We didn't have our planning meetings that we did in the past. And I'm kind of the brainstorming sessions.
I had one.
Those are we would usually have 2, 3 throughout the season.
Usually it's once a month, and it would start now. Are we in October? Yeah. But that's when we have our meetings. That's the official first, like promo meeting. It's like 2 days worth of organizational meetings. We go about what worked last year, what didn't work, go over all of that, and then we go forward and say like, all right, we'll go through sales, talk about ticket sales and all of that. Like, here's what prices are going to be, budgets, what people's sales goals are. So there are literally like only 2 people in this office, maybe 3, that don't have a sales goal. Like Joey doesn't even have a phone, I don't think, in here. So Joey, you have a phone now? Oh, it's off. Okay. So she doesn't have a sales goal because she does literally just videos in this podcast. And like help creating content for social media. But like for myself, I have a sales goal. It's one of the 77 things that I do here is group sales and corporate sales. But we go over all of that. And then it's our first promo brainstorm meeting as well.
And those are fun because you get to see what gets whittled out, what gets saved, what was brought over from what we didn't do last year.
You can tell the ones that I like don't really even want to waste time writing down. Because instead of writing out the full idea, I'll just write like, abbreviated word. Like, really, Eddie? That idea was stupid.
There are times.
Sorry, Eddie. I was just kidding. Your name was the first one that came to my head.
Where I'll have, I think, is a really funny idea, and just I have to learn how to sell it to you. Like, hey, this is bad. Because I'll text you and be like, why?
No, you.
Never mind.
This is becoming with grandiose ideas. We should get the mayor to do it, and that's not a grand idea either.
I'm talking one person as opposed to.
He's a big well, he's a little person.
Just be kind.
He's Josh
Mayor Carter, if you're listening, you can come run with us.
Yeah. Yang NATO, if you're listening to this, because I know you've listened a couple of times.
Nope.
Josh really wants the mayor to come run a marathon around the concourse. And if you can make that happen or have him run a lap, I will apologize.
One lap.
On the microphone to Joshua Will.
Save that for our 5th friend anniversary. Yeah. No, again, we've talked about this before. Sometimes I'm all about spitballing, and sometimes that spitball doesn't stick.
Yeah, it's just like this.
Nope.
Gross, like gnat when it hits me. And then I got to find it, and then I got to throw it in the garbage because littering is wrong.
Occasionally, you'll be like, "What was that idea what did you?"
Yeah,
like, I don't remember.
A lot of times too. It's the time of the day that you text.
Again,
if it's at
no
a
clue
weeknight and it's non-game night, that if I'm not at work, that means I am trying not to think about work.
Unless I need to, I will not write anybody at night.
No,
I've done this thing. I'm now the.
But the will you bail idea came at nighttime. So it just kind of depends on the mood. So if you want to text me, what's your mood?
What's your mood from 1 to 10?
I'll either say don't or try me.
Not now. Okay. Hey, I'm Joshua Will, Director of Entertainment here at the St. Paul Saints.
And I am Sierra Bailey, Director of Marketing and Promotions.
This is Funny in Theory, a podcast that you can find wherever you find podcasts, and sometimes other places.
Yeah, sometimes I found this on the side of the road, this podcast, and then I threw it away.
On the side of the road.
In theory.
In theory. Please like, subscribe,
and
share.
Comment. What do you think is? We're up to 3 bleeps now.
I look at people like Jordan or Rob who are very quiet, and I'm like, I should be more like that.
I literally can't, or I would explode.
Thanks for listening.
Like your tooth. Bye.
It's not strange. Both things are rearranged. No one to blame. It's all for the fun of the game.